I don't know. This seems a little bit like, I don't know. This solution, while free, is a little, I don't know, low rent or something. Let's go ahead and get through these articles. Emily D. Baker and Legal Bites, by the way, seem to do fine. I just like to note their counters seem to be in focus as they also are in focus. So you say it can't be done, go watch their streams. They seem to have it done. Should we just put it in shot anyway to show you my woes? Let's put it in shot anyway so you can do me my shows. Deal with my woes. See, now it's a blurry piece of mess. Doesn't really work. First world problems, yes. Most of the tech problems I deal with are first world problems as you try to get the camera and mic and light into work. Yes, they are in fact first world problems. Thank you for that intelligent commentary. Stephanie says WTF. Just talking to the people, Stephanie. All right. And I should take this off for the purposes of filming. In case you're wondering, sometimes my wrist gets a little sore, so I put it on so it isn't as sore because it helps keep it in place. Just a simple, wrist stabilizer. Nothing fancy, but it's not really great for the imagery. All right. For today's story, we deal... Let's try that again. The Supreme Court did not rule that First Amendment suits are not allowed in federal courts. Try harder. Good morning, chill out. Thank you for telling me how to feel. I appreciate that you are in fact the regulator of my emotions. Do I have your permission to feel angry or upset? Please let me know. For today's situation, we are dealing with a man. Man, this sounds like a Romeo and Juliet situation, but at least in Romeo and Juliet, the parents learned the lessons after they died. Let's wrap the story up. So, my friends, that brings us out to... Let's try that again. So, my friends, that brings us to the end of it. Let's do this Texas transgender one. Yeah, is there any point to having the box there in the shot when it's so blurry? I mean, you can't even see what it says. Didn't really work out, man. Should probably just move it out of the shot again. Kind of looks like shit. For today's story, we cover more further enforcement of this law. The lights, the lights are already up at maximum, so I don't know that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to UNCIVIL Law, where we learn through the misfortunes of others. Your counter's in focus at my end. Really? You can see that? Of the LGBTQ plus advocacy group, the P flag. What I really wanted to say there was the LGBTQ plus question mark ampersand tilde, accent agu, WPXY coalition, but I decided not to because I thought that, maybe that would be a bad plan. Maybe another time. By the way, when we're done with this, we have to have a bit of fun at Nick Rekieta's expense because someone's got to explain to me a whole bunch of things, okay? My tolerance for annoying is really, really low today. I just want to say today is not a day you necessarily want to test UNCIVIL because UNCIVIL is annoyed. Weren't I over 96 recently? Yes, I did. I lost some subscribers because I had we discussed this with the technical issues from republishing. Because of the YouTube problems we discussed before, I did a video about it. But basically, when I did that, and I knew it would happen because it happened last time, basically a lot of my subscribers got flooded with notifications, and a lot of them turned off notifications because they couldn't understand why they were being flooded with notifications for videos that were months old. So I lost like 500. I lost like 500 subscribers like instantly, and I knew it would happen. It was just unavoidable. So we have to rebuild a little bit. Yeah, so we lost like 500 subs instantly. So that's what happened. All right. Yeah, I'm not worried about getting them back. Just thought I'd set a goal, if we could get it, why not? Yes. For today's case, we cover a recent settlement award. For today's coverage, we are discussing a situation in which a woman was awarded a settlement of $5.2 million. Hello, everyone, and welcome to UNCIVIL Law. Someone asks, what is the reason for the long pauses? Well, it depends why I'm long pausing. Sometimes it's because I'm reading. Sometimes it's because I'm reading and I want to figure out what I'm going to talk about next. All right, I'm reading. I'm like, okay, what do I want to talk about next in this case? Where do I want to go next? Because the whole thing is like, well, how long was this thing? It was 15 pages. And we cut that down quite a lot by focusing on issues I thought were important because it's my channel. So yeah, the long pauses are because, or it was because in this case, or it was because I got a text message, and the text message I was reading on my phone was very, very concerning, and I wanted to read it and think about it for a second. There's a reason why sometimes the real world interrupts. Let us do this, and then we're going to do something from Nick Rekieta, because I want to talk about this, because I think it's funny. In terms of how people perceive me versus perceive Nick. So, part of my continuing interesting things. Okay. Let's try again. There we go. Do I have any info on what YouTube is doing to screw over my channel? Not in particular. Not in particular. Why would I? For today's story, we cover the latest. Well, Jacob Grawl said, quit being a simp. Quit feeding off of other LawTubers' success to appease your own financial gains. You clearly have alcohol abuse issues alongside your depression. I really hope you're able to get the help you need. Justice for DUI guy. I think we'll be blocking him. You worry about my drinking? I don't drink that much on stream. I don't drink as much, nearly as much as Nick Rekieta does. All right. So let me show you something from Nick's stream yesterday, because I think it's really interesting in terms of people's perception of me as this misogynist guy because I just think it's hilarious. I'm just going to have a chat roll that says, mention my drinking and get banned. You don't know me. I really should have a chat roll that says, mention my drinking and get banned. Because you don't know me. You're not in a position to know me. You're certainly not in a position to be, like, act like, even if I had a problem, you're not in a position to intervene about it. So, like, I should have a roll that just says, mention my drinking and get banned. So there's something I want to show you yesterday from his stream. Hold on. It's because I thought it was hilarious. People talk about my misogyny. All right, so let's cover Nick yesterday. Nick is my friend, by the way. I'm not shitting on Nick. I'm more shitting on the people who shit on me, just for the record. This is why does uncivil law get why does uncivil law get accused of being a misogynist portion of the stream?
We have a champions contest coming here. You guys have to determine which one of these legal Titan ladies is correct. So, I don't know who's correct, chat. I'm going to put up a poll. The lady in green on the far left. That's true. That's true. This lady is always correct.
All right. So he sets this up. And so this is like, okay, so he sets this up like which one's right based on the image, based on what they look like. And then he says this, just makes me wonder why people ever accuse me of being a misogynist at all. So hold on. So then he says this as he's closing out the poll, and I want people to say the whole point of this is not to call out Nick. The whole point of this is why do people call me misogynist and not Nick? Because he says this. Hold on.
I think we have our very scientific, and certainly not misogynistic way of determining who is correct by looking at the women objectively. And by objectively I mean as objects, and determining who is more correct based on physical attractiveness. And that's, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's science to this. That is how you determine if a woman is correct. If she is more attractive, she is more correct. And so there's a scale of correctness that women all have built into them, and it's called their looks. This, I told you, this is true. Only facts being spit out here. There are certain women who are always correct. There are certain women who are maybe correct 9 out of 10 times. And that's a pretty high rating. Then there's some women who are correct 2 out of 10 times. They tend to be anime voice actresses. For example, hypothetically, 2 out of 10 times, they're correct. Jen Psaki, for example, was correct maybe 3 to 4 out of 10 times. Let's see. Let's check that live subscriber count.
Now, he's obviously kidding. I know he's kidding. You know he's kidding. Everyone knows he's kidding. Everyone knows he's not serious. Everyone gets it. He's making jokes. I get that he's making jokes. I just want to know why I get shit in my chats and on Legal Bites chat about uncivil law, the misogynist. When I got this asshole over here, telling jokes way worse than anything I've ever said. That's all I want to know. Why do I get the misogynistic hate? Man. This is the issue. He tells his jokes, and it's obvious he's joking, whereas I actually rely on the intelligence of the listener to understand I'm joking without overtly conveying that I'm joking. I'm depending on this is my problem. This is absolutely my problem. I'm depending on the intelligence of the listener. See, the joke is conveyed in the subtlety of the deadpan, right? But then some people are idiots and they don't get the joke. Whereas he's like telegraphing joke. So he's lowest common denominator. That's the problem. He's lowest common denominator, and he is helping the plebes understand the joke, whereas I'm depending on you, the audience, to listen to me and understand it's a joke Not from me like overtly laughing at my own joke, but from me deadpanning it and you realizing it's absurd, and the absurdity carries the funny. And Soren Chris says, Nick clearly doesn't give a shit. Any you appear to care how people respond. This is also true. Nick is much better at the not giving a shit thing. He's much better at believe. He's much better at not reacting to the haters. But I got haters. I got hater problems. Including I think, some fellow creators whose, well, you know, my style seems to, you know, not necessarily rub the right way, but that's okay. I mean, we can't all be compatible with each other. Channel's sadly gone stagnant. I don't think I need a sidekick for that. I mean, everyone has growing pains. Nick was stuck at like 198 forever. Before Rittenhouse, Nick was stuck at like 195, 198 forever. And I don't think I'm stuck. I just lost some subs because of the recent kerfuffle, technically. You to hit 100K when you just accused him of misogyny to make yourself look comparatively better. Well, if what you heard me say was me accusing Nick of misogyny, you have listening comprehension problems. Listen harder. Christ. This is why I can't trust my audience, because they can't listen.